Hello everybody, it's Sandy from Talk of Thailand, and I know it's been quite some time since I last posted a video from my Talk of Thailand channel. The reasons for this are several, and most of them are pretty obvious, and that these days in Thailand, where COVID is running absolutely amok and out of control, going anywhere to visit and to make impressive videos, etc. is impossible, and nobody can move around the country at the moment without serious problems and restrictions. I don't want to bore you with all the facts about Pattaya and how things are here, other than to talk about Thailand in general, in that the whole country is in a mess. Bangkok is particularly devastated with the COVID Delta variant, as is the rest of Thailand actually. Pattaya moved into the high red zone a couple of weeks ago, and life here has become intolerable for many people. In fact, you see that on YouTube. Several YouTubers are giving up and going off home, and I can't blame them for that really. There's very little of interest here, and those that carry on walking around Pattaya and taking videos of the same empty streets are getting quite a bit of criticism from several areas now about repetition and depression. So I don't want to go into that, except maybe to explain what's happening from a personal perspective, in that, as many people will know, I'm in my early 70s, and in that aspect I'm regarded as quite a high priority category for getting a vaccination. Up until recently there has been nowhere where I can register for this vaccination, but I did manage to find two places to register about 10 days ago actually. Well, one was a week ago and another was about 10 days ago. So I'm sort of hopeful that this week I'm going to see an opportunity to maybe get my first vaccine in the near future, but I'm not holding my breath on that, by the way, and I know there's many hundreds of people here in Pattaya in a very similar boat. It is of interest that there seems to be several expats here that have managed to get the first dose of AstraZeneca, which is good, and I got some emails from them, some messages from them saying try this and try that, and one of them was a friend of mine who'd got his at the main hospital, Bangkok Memorial Hospital here in Pattaya, and he had got his down there, and he said give them a ring. So I did give them a ring, and they said no, we've got no vaccines here. Why are you phoning us? We don't have vaccines. And I said to them, well, my friend told me he got vaccinated there yesterday. Oh, did he? Well, maybe his doctor had some vaccines, she said. So I found that all very strange. And then I heard of someone else that had got vaccinated at Bangkok Memorial Hospital also. And I phoned them up again. I said, look, now I know two people. Why can't I come and get vaccinated? They said, oh, you need to have a doctor's referral. Okay. Now then, I do happen to know that the two people that have had the vaccine there have had major surgery there in the past, and are probably in also a very vulnerable situation, and if they've been treated in that hospital, then maybe that hospital has managed to get some vaccine to treat their previous patients, and I don't disagree with that. I think that's good thinking for them, and good luck to those that have got their vaccination, but it doesn't really help most of us. We see here families in absolute poverty being thrown out their accommodation, crowding up on the beach for free food handouts, all this sort of thing. And as for me and my family, we are very much restricted, and I can't get a virus, I can't get a vaccine, and if I did happen to contract the Delta virus, it could be fairly serious. Also, my wife's much younger than myself, and she she's got her name down, and she's been offered the Sinovac vaccination in the past, but she's waiting to see if she can get one of the better ones like AstraZeneca or Pfizer or Moderna, one of these that's got a reputation of at least giving some protection against death in the case of the Delta variation of the virus. It's interesting that Thailand, the majority of the vaccine that they've been dealing with to Thai people is either the Sinovac or the Sinopharm from China, and now China is openly admitting that these vaccinations are have very little effect against the Delta variations, and now major cities in China are closing down, and China's got a problem also. So I expect they're working on trying to find a solution for this as well in their viruses. But that's it. So myself and my family, we've just got to stay safe and try and keep away from where the virus is spreading, which is mainly in things like markets and building sites where a lot of people congregate. And I feel sorry for my daughter. She's very restricted, and I think she feels that she feels it badly that she can't go out and play with friends, etc. And of course the worrying factor, of course, in addition to the virus, is the mental aspects behind this being staying at home and being quarantined as such, and with the curfew at the night, it must hurt a lot of people. And this is where another time when I think about a lot of these poor people that live in condos. God, it must be terrible. They've only got 4 walls to look at, and okay, they might have a beautiful view out over the sea or something like that, but that's going to get boring after a short time anyway, I'm sure. So, what have I been doing? Well, as those that have been following me previously, fortunately the time I have has been well occupied in progressing my teaching of English online, and that has been going very, very well actually. It's progressed a lot. I now have quite a few students from many parts of the world, from places as far as Mexico, Italy, Greece, Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, and a lot in China, some here in Thailand. So it's all working, and then the question might be, well, what sort of people am I actually teaching? Well, some may know that when I started out, I said I don't want to teach children, young children. That's not my scene, and I think there's a lot more people better qualified and more patient, has more patience to deal with young children than I have. So I opted to go for people that had a certain amount of English ability, and then go on to specialize in 3 specific areas actually. The first one being advanced conversation skills, where people where they have a relatively good vocabulary and fluency already, but they want to try and improve it. And I've certainly had a few students like that, and we're still working together actually, and they're coming on very well. The second aspect, which is another big aspect for me at the moment, is exam preparation. Preparing people for foreign universities or for immigration to other countries, and getting the necessary English skills to pass the exams required to be able to attend these universities, or indeed to immigrate to the countries of their choice. And the English ability to pass these tests/exams is quite high actually. There's quite a high standard required, and a lot of people that think just because they're English speakers and have been all their life is that they walk through these exams, and please don't think that, because there's a lot of work to getting past those exams. And that's where a large majority of my students are from, aiming for passing these exams, and that has been quite a good aspect for me. The final one that I teach actually is the business aspect of the English language, right from basic office skills and formal, semi-formal and informal language, etc. that's used in these offices, along with preparations of documents, communications, formal letters, informal letters, emails, etc. These are all important aspects, and also down to some maybe just a touch away from the actual teaching pure English aspect. I teach them some skills as well, like project management skills and various other management skills also, and preparation for job interviews, or preparation for writing their own resume for applying for jobs. So that's kept me very busy, and I would say at the moment I've probably got about 20 regular students, and about each week I maybe have about between 10 and 20 trial people having trial lessons to find out if they're okay with me and they're okay with the material that I teach, and also just to check that the communications between us work well. Also, I've also had to reject some people that come on for trial lessons because I just couldn't help improve their English, and they need to improve their English somewhere else first, and then I'd be happy to talk with them, because if they're below B1 really, and what they classify as A1 and into A2, then they need a more basic English training, and I don't do that. So that's exactly what I've been doing for the last few weeks since you last heard from me, and it's going well. It's when I passed the TOEFL exam some weeks ago, I was telling everyone about it, and I thought that that's a good maybe a good solution for other people that want to find something to do and maybe want to earn a little bit of cash, etc. But I have to say that there's some aspects that I was wrong in, because it's not easy, and don't believe it is. If you're going to go into this particular field, let me give you some advice on that. Certain platforms will take people who have never had any teaching experience, and they'll take them on as one particular platform that I work for, iTalki, they can have community teachers, and these people are only there to really talk with the students and just give them conversation, so they get used to using the language again and using their vocabulary, and that's a very important aspect. But that's not the way I progress. Now I'm registered because of the TOEFL certificate as a professional teacher, and I feel honour bound actually to do what it says on the tin, and that is to give people what they're paying for, whether it be the advanced conversation skills, the examination preparation skills, or the business aspects also. I believe I've got to give them value for money, because some of them are paying some good money for this actually. So it's a lot of work putting material together, doing research and getting various all the material together, and then making up the lesson plans and planning them and presenting them, of course, and monitoring them. And the way it's working for me is it's not just a straightforward 1 hour lesson. When the 1 hour lesson's over, then I've got to prepare a homework package for each particular student and send it out to them, so we're ready for the next lesson. When they attend, we can discuss their homework and how they've got on, words, etc., or phrases that they're not clear on, or other aspects that they want to discuss with me. And so it's a lot of work, and anybody want to go into it, I can strongly recommend it, but don't believe it's an easy passage to keep these people happy. And you've got to know, and I found out that I've relearned a lot, I should say, and probably learned more in addition to teaching English and learning English and presenting English than I did many years ago at school, and that I've used over the years in my time working as an engineer. So that's where I am now, and you've got to be prepared when you're teaching these people, because a lot of these people are academics. They're very clever people, and when you're going through the various aspects of the grammar or the vocabulary, etc., they'll start asking questions, and they expect you to have the answers, and I don't always have the answers. Sometimes I've got to look up the answers and get back to them, because they're asking me a question that I don't honestly know, and they'll ask me to explain the differences between different phrases or different sentences and why they has to be put that way as opposed to another way, and all these sort of questions. And it takes you've got to have your brain operating, and it takes time, and it takes. I feel I'm getting to a level now that I am giving them value for money, and that's important to me. Now the thing is, what do I get out of it? Actually, I know many people won't believe it, and some people might even criticize me for it. I've got a lot of criticism just for considering going down this path at my age. What do I get out of it? Actually, I get a lot of gratification out of seeing people, their English improving and coming on. And I find that, for instance, if I give a lesson to a student, and we're maybe discussing presentations or how they can use various phrases of vocabulary instead of ordinary aspects, and then when I see them the next lesson I give them, and they're actually using this, and they know that I'll be impressed that they've picked it up from the previous lesson, and they've been doing their homework, and they're now using that vocabulary. That gives me a lot of satisfaction, actually, and a lot of gratification too. So I do enjoy it. I've got to say, I've met a lot of very nice, interesting people. I don't think there's been one or two that I haven't got on with, and we've terminated the progression quite quickly. But I've also made some very good friends, and some very influential friends too. Some very top people in this world that you wouldn't believe, actually, that have on the face of it almost perfect English skills, but what they don't have is the confidence. So when they're put in a position that they've got to give a major presentation or a speech or something like this, they're coming to me and saying, help me with the speech, because I need to give this speech now, and I haven't got the confidence to believe that what I'm saying and what is correct, and I don't want to embarrass myself in front of a lot of people. So we work on that together, and that's been very, very positive. And these people have ended up as very good friends, actually, and that's another nice aspect about it. Finally, there'll be people interested about the financial side. Well, I guess I've been actually started making money really over the last month, I would say, and the money is okay. I could make it a lot more, and maybe next month I will put my charges up a little bit higher, but just now I'm charging for an hour's lesson $14, and for a half hour $10, and there's a little bit of commission to be paid out of that, a little bit, 15% actually. But my program is fairly busy, and I am making, I never went into it to make big money, but I'm making good money. That's what I'd say. I'm making good money now, and that's very good also for me. So that's where we are. We're in Thailand. We're still at home. We're staying at home. We can't go out too much. We've got to be very careful of the virus aspect, the Delta virus, and we've got to wait for our vaccines, and all that's a pretty bad side. On the other side, I've got plenty to do, keeping me busy, keeping my brain active, and just for example, some of you critics that have came on here and said that I can't do it. You said it can't be done, or you can't. I want you to know that can't is spelt with an A and not a U, and there is also an apostrophe between the N and the T, so meaning cannot. Okay, so there's your first English lesson for free, and please try and get it right in the future. Okay, that's it for now, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll try to keep you updated as it goes along. I'm a fairly busy person now, and happy to say, and I hope everybody out there is staying safe and getting their vaccines when they can, and trying to control this pandemic virus for ourselves and our families. So thank you for watching. Bye for now. Bye.